Okay, we're gonna get started here. I'm sorry, I'm doing some last minute things. Dee Dee, hello. Got the test message you blessed on this day. Yeah, I still did that here to make sure the chat's moving. I don't know why that ended up so weird on the. Oh, I should probably put it on the Discord too. Okay, so where are we? I got jumbled. I've been reading a lot of stuff today, and things are happening, and it has nothing to do with what we're gonna do here today. But man, is it affecting me. Not in a bad way, just it's information overload. So today, I need to step back. If you weren't here yesterday, what ended up happening is we finished our map completion. We have 7 gifts of exploration. Nothing extraordinary happened yesterday. But today, we are going to go over the other part of map completion and farming, and that's making legendaries. So you get these gifts of exploration. What do? You make legendaries with them. The only other thing you do with gifts of exploration is make globes in your guild hall, and it's totally not worth it, in my opinion. A little small decoration compared to what a gift of exploration is. If it was a big globe, I'd be like, look at this thing, but it's not, so I'm not even going to show you that. Excuse me, I'm not even going to show you anything today, really. Today will be an information inventory type day. I will be pointing stuff out. I'll be talking information. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make some things with what I have and risk it. Yeah, risk it. I'll talk about some ways as vets we get the advantage. Quando, hello. We get the advantage. As a new player, some of this stuff still works for you. It'll take a little more time and things like that. Like, I'll talk about 200 spirit shards. And as a veteran, getting spirit shards when you have everything unlocked and just the amount of experience that you get in areas and stuff like that, 200 spirit shards can be just a couple days for us. And other times, you know, it's going to take dailies. It's going to take time to grind that stuff out as a new player. But that's the comparisons I want to make today, but also show you what I'm doing and then some tips. So, afternoon, you think? Yeah, it's almost evening here technically, but yeah, afternoon. It's afternoon. Here. But anyways, so yesterday we finished our mapping. I want to go ahead and bring up some Guild Wars 2. So we finished our mapping character 100%. Pretty successful run. We did it under in 20 hours. Just barely. I think it was 19 hours and 57 minutes. We barely got under 20 hours, but that was my goal with this character. We did other things. We did the level 10 story. I messed around a little bit on this character, things like that. So I was very satisfied with the run. Now, I want to get it down to 16 or less hours. And the reason that is more Black Lion keys and more gifts of exploration, so operations can run for legendary giveaways and stuff like that, should they ever happen. But my year of selfishness last year sort of got rated by just how bad of an awful year it was. And so I wasn't as selfish as I should have been and get some legendaries done. This year, I'm going to jump in game on my main character here. My old main character, not my current main character. But I used to play Warrior a lot back in the day. A lot. But let's talk legendaries. If you have not seen, I think the YouTube video still exists. I don't think I deleted that one. I deleted some older videos. But there's a YouTube video of me purchasing the Eternity for 4,000 gold. And I did it in like 2 months. 2 months, 4,000 gold. That's because I was a pro player at the time, and it was easy to make money because freshwater pearls, Maguma lilies. But long story short, I do technically have Twilight, Sunrise, and Eternity done. And the 3 underwater weapons. I also have Juggernaut done twice over, but we only count it once. Even though I have 2 of them. Then Twice Told Legend, anyone? Then I have the Predator, And I have the Scepter Meteorologicus Kiss. Eternity was your birthday present. That's 9 legendaries. Feel like I'm missing one. But I think some of them are just sitting in my bank too. Yeah, there's the Predator and the Juggernaut. So the rifle, the hammer. We got all the great swords done. We got all the underwater weapons done. Things like that. I made the Scepter last year at some point, so I did make a legendary. Like I need the legendary. It's on my necro. What else? What else? I didn't clear this out last night. Trying to think. I think that's it. I think that's all the legendaries I had. Can you look up by legendary? No, I don't think you can do rarity. ArenaNet. I look up rarity. Because I doubt this would work. Right? We just get the legend. Oh, I have the Bifrost. It worked out. I don't have this one? Oh. But I have the Bifrost too. So I have 10 legendaries. I have 0 Gen 2. We're not going to talk Gen 2 legendaries today. Big disclaimer. If I talk Gen 2 legendaries, I will have lack of knowledge and things like that. The reason we're not talking Gen 2 legendaries is because they're not profitable in the sense of selling on the trading post. So if I go to the trading post, which is the way I should have done this from the get-go. If I go to the trading post and I look at weapons, I take off the warrior tag because they're going to limit me. I look at legendary rarity for weapons. Here they all are. Yeah, I have Eternity, Frenzy. I don't have Bolt. Bolt's a good one. I've actually made several Frost Fangs, but I've given them away. So what's really surprising is the price of Eternity is at 3.5. Okay. And the reason why 3,500 gold is odd, first of all, it's cheaper than when I bought it, but you can make Sunrise and Twilight and sell them for a higher price, and then turn around and buy Eternity and unlock everything. When you buy Eternity and equip it, it does unlock the skin for Eternity, Twilight, Sunrise. They're precursors, they're experimental weapons. Again, there's a YouTube video somewhere here on my channel that has that. So it does make sense. That's why the Gen 2 legendaries I do feel are a little more prestigious. They do cost a bit more. So if you're making like the sword Gen 2, it would cost more than this 2,200 gold to you personally. So like the sell price of Gen 2 weapons would be much higher based on what goes into them and things like that. They're just a bit harder to make. I'm not going to go over those. Those are an advanced thing, and I am a casual player. And I apologize if you're looking for information on that. We're not going to talk about the Gen 2s because I need to talk about gifts of exploration and how to make a bit more money from them. So, I'm just talking about the ones I have unlocked and not. Howler, a Warhorn isn't interesting to me, but I'm thinking about making the dagger. Again, I have the underwater legendaries just because I had the precursors. I bought them when they're really cheap. I also need to make the focus, so the dagger focus and something else. Quip might be a Quip would actually be a really good one for my thieves. So the Dreamer short bow. I've had the Chosen precursor, gave it away. I have 2 Juggernauts. So I don't need one of those. So don't have the mace. It really feels like I don't have any of them, just because there's a lot of one-handed and majorly known ones. But sword might be good. The reason why I'm looking at these is because I'm thinking about making 7 of them. I think End of Dragons is going to bring this legendary armory, and then having legendary weapons in some way is going to be important. So, Quip is definitely your least favorite, or maybe Moot. Oh, thank you, Didi. Posted up the video there in chat. I should probably put that in the description, right? That's what I should do? Yeah. Anyhow. Incinerator is going to be the main one I'm going to shoot for because I need the legendary dagger on my Necro. I think that's the thing I'm going to play towards is the torch I also don't have. Rodgort. Sword Torch might be a good one, and the short bow. I need to figure out which ones I need more than the other. I think the focus is actually on the back end, now I think about it. I don't remember what I needed the focus for. Maybe nothing. Focus and Warhorn, usually the cheapest ones, right? And the underwater ones. Where was the focus at? Yeah, 1900. The moot is 1850. I mean, if you haven't got an Energizer as your first precursor drop, I would be surprised. Energizer and Dawn tend to drop a lot. Dawn is worth it because of Sunrise, right here. The 2200 and Twilight is 2370. I believe when it comes to price, the Great Swords and the Bifrost are still the top. Juggernaut's still up there, but I don't know. But when it comes to Eternity, buying these separately, Twilight and Sunrise, you don't have to do that. So that would cost you over 4,000 gold when you can buy it for 3,500. Buy orders at 3,200. That's not bad. That's not bad. I bought mine at 4,000. I think 4,000 was still a fair price at the time to unlock several skins and stuff like that. When you make Eternity with Sunrise and Twilight, I think it's still cheaper to buy Eternity straight out than to make both Great Swords. I think it still cost about 3,700 gold. You got to check those numbers. You got to do things like that. But these are the ones I'm talking about. So you finish map completion. You get excited about, you know, Black Lion keys and things like that. But you end up with these gifts of exploration. What do you do? What do you do? Well, we got to talk about how far you have to go to make these legendaries. I have 7 gifts of battle, 7 gifts of exploration, and I only have 6 bloodstone shards. We'll talk a little bit about that kind of stuff. Bloodstone shard, just to be clear, is 200 spirit shards. It is a grind. At the beginning of the game, that was the longest grind for me, is getting enough spirit shards, believe it or not. Well, we're going to put that down there. So ended up with 7. Some extra things I have is actually like the Gifts of Fleet, 3 of those, 3 Gifts of Chalk, 4 Gifts of the Jungle, 3 Gifts of Tarir. This is for Gen 2. I don't remember if I have the desert stuff. I think I can already convert this stuff into something with a Gift of Battle. Something like that. I got all sorts of legendary precursor stuff over here. I have a Gift of Lightning as well, from one of the collections. So things like that will come to you at some point. I don't know what this other junk is. What is this? Oh, Prescience. That's what's there. And Glimpse. Bark of Sentience. Okay. I do have that stuff. I do not have a legendary back piece. I do not have legendary accessories. Look, I played the game for 8 years, things like that. They're not that important to me. In fact, if you think you need all legendary things, that is on you. But to be honest, you don't need all legendary things. A legendary armory, then having all legendary things would be great when the armory comes out, if the armory comes out. That's the other thing. We don't know if this thing's going to come out. But if it does come out, and you already have the legendary things, you're probably going to be better off, because then it's not going to cost you more money to make it, because people are going to be like, oh, there's a goal for me now, because I can see it in this thing, right? And so the prices of stuff go up. And I'll just mark on the things that go up. Right now, the price of gifts of exploration, gifts of battle, and bloodstone shards, all of this will be connected to legendaries or crafting things in general. And the thing is, they're account bound, they are worthless besides what you can sell them to a merchant. If you were to sell this stuff to a merchant at 44 silver, I would kill you. Much less than that, because you divide that by 7. Do not sell these things to a merchant. You can convert them to something better, I'm sure. I think Gifts of Battle can only be converted to Gen 1 legendaries for money, though. Spirit Shards, there's a lot of other things you can do besides buying Bloodstone Shards. And I think these are used in other things as well. Gifts of Exploration only have 2 uses, Gen 1 legendaries, so that's where you make your money. Or the Guild Hall Decoration, which won't earn you anything. So when it comes to account-bound things, this is how you make your money with them. And that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk Spirit Shards just a little bit. Spirit Shards can earn through dailies, 3 at a time. So you don't need map comp both if you don't want to. I mean, but here's the thing. I'm not going to talk about the black market. Anything out of Guild Wars 2 off this trading post, I'm not going to talk about today either. Because the thing is, yes, you can go out there and find people who will send you the stuff. I talked about this yesterday at the end of the show. You can find people that will send you this stuff and things like that. The thing is, it's not 100% secure. There's always a risk, and that thing it just opens up a whole can of worms that then we have to go through of like, you have to find someone who's trustworthy and that kind of stuff. So, you know, the thing is, you still have to have these things to make the legendary anyways. But if you want to go out there and find someone, that's on you. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it doesn't exist either. I'm not gonna do that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna talk about it because I've never used it, and I can't be here and be like, all you gotta do is this. And I'm sure it's that easy for some things, but I know people, you know, if you get ripped off, you get ripped off. That's just, you know, and ArenaNet tends to not look kindly on you working outside of their bounds. So if you send somebody an item and they don't send you the thing back or what you wanted or whatever, it's sort of on you to get it fixed. If you contact customer service and they do feel like you got scammed, they will do something, but sometimes you don't get your stuff back anyways for whatever reason. So again, err on the side of caution. But I'm telling you, if you're an 8-year veteran and you've put 10,000 hours in this game plus, you should be able to do the things I'm doing today. And if you're newer to the game, you can work towards this stuff over time. A lot of this stuff is over time anyways. Just like another thing I'll talk about right now is the easiest way to get free stuff. Midian, hello? That's right. If someone does spend real life cash to get you what they're sending you and stuff, you can get in trouble too. So real life transactions and stuff, yeah, be careful. But the thing you can do with your money is that if you already own this game and you have the expansions, the game itself will be 50% off. If you're already going to spend $60 worth on gems, right? I may lean you towards something else, and that's buying extra accounts. Now, there is some frustration. You have to have an email and blah, 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 right? But the idea behind it is that the login rewards and building up an account to a certain point, like getting home instance nodes in it and then farming those, or taking those characters, those 5 characters or more, or whatever you get with the expansions. You take those characters, you go and plant them at a farm, whether it be at a rich iron node, at the Elderwood farm, or whatever. There are things you can do with an extra account, but those login rewards for the Mystic coins, which we'll touch on, and then just the laurels and what you can do with those, and then even dailies, really easy dailies as well. There's also some core codes out there, but I'm not sure about those. If you're not buying it on the Guild Wars 2 website or a trusted source, ArenaNet will not help you if it's not a trusted source, by the way. But if it's a trusted source, like, and they're still selling the core game and it's relatively cheap, like $5 to $10, that will work too. As long as the game isn't free to play, you should be getting something for daily login and stuff at a certain point. And certain stuff will be locked for a while, but it will unlock. Everything is unlocked after 30 days and once you hit level 80. So the idea is to learn how to level a character and stuff on a new account. You log into those accounts every day. Yes, it does take work because you have to put in the information. There is some other things out there, but I suggest 2 or 3 accounts, and it will actually help you along. Especially if you're a veteran, you've been playing a long time. Maybe instead of buying gems, invest in those accounts because they do provide you a good source of income. And the other thing is that isn't breaking the rules. As long as you're not playing the accounts at the exact same time. So if you hit the W key and it's moving 3 different characters on 3 different accounts, that's not allowed. But having multiple accounts is. And in fact, I know people with over 20 accounts and things like that, and a bulk of their liquid gold comes from just logging into those accounts. So that's how they get their Mystic coins. That's how they get the stuff they do. But yeah, there's just things. Also, certain accounts are able to get things through the gym store, which I don't think will continue to happen. But sometimes they can be gifted. So those extra accounts, you can just gift them to your main account. And then again, the benefit just continues on. And you're talking about $15, $30 for 2 when it's 50% off. So be looking for that. I'm not saying use my links or anything like that, but if you want to, they're there. They're underneath me. But this is just me as a player saying what is best. So, but if you do want to support me because I gave you that information, just use my links. That's all I'm saying. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. There. Done chilling. Let's get back into what's happening right now. So we looked at the legendaries and stuff like that. The thing with legendaries is spirit shards. Spirit shards, you earn 3 on a daily, and every time you level up after you've completed your masteries. And things like that. If your masteries are filled out and stuff, if you don't have masteries, that means you don't have HOT. You'll be gaining a spirit shard when you hit level 80 or level up. Every time you level up, it's 254,000 experience points. When you are an 8-year veteran like me and killing things at 15,000 experience points a piece, nearly sometimes, and then events are giving you 22,000 and things like that, you can see how fast it's easy for me to get those. In fact, spirit shards for me have always been a complaint because I have nothing to do with them. I have been spending them. We just spent some more. But 7,461 of these, and it's expensive. And I just bought the thing that I needed to buy over here from the Mystic Forge attendant, and that's the Bloodstone shard, and that's 200 spirit shards. So I can buy 37 of these for 37 legendaries. And as you map, you get a lot of spirit shards back. And of course, you're going to get distracted by other things if you're not just mapping or you're doing dailies and stuff like that. So it adds up quickly. It is one of the easier ways. So there's a list of trusted sources on guildwars2.com. There is. Steam sale. I don't know if the Steam sale will happen anytime soon. I really think that might not even come this year because they'll wait until after End of the Dragons, more than likely, and then use that as a selling point. I think is what they're gonna do. So, all right, from Spirit Shards, let's talk about the other account-bound thing that you're absolutely gonna have to get. That I swim in. That I have literally just stopped trying to get, and I got another 400 and something of them this year. Listen, obby shards seem like something that should cost you a lot, and it cost you a lot of time, but they're actually very easy to get. There are 4 main sources of obby shards. Balthazar's Temple will sell them for karma, but you can buy them from vendors for all sorts of things. So look around, shop around. There's too many to list. They're in like fractals, they're in raids, they're in weekly rewards for festivals. They're everywhere, okay? So when it comes to obby shards, getting a stack of obby shards plus the ones you're going to need for mystic coins, which is usually another stack, I highly suggest trying to get 2 stacks and try to hold on to them at all costs. But vendors will sell them somehow, somewhere. And the second source that's pretty easy is the guild hall. Sandswept guild hall. If you're doing the mining every day, you'll get 1 or 2, that kind of thing. The third thing in the game, before I start talking about collections and stuff, the third thing in the game to really easily, I guess there are 5, is the loot chest in Silver Waste. So opening those chests have a chance to give you obby shards, and it happens fairly often. You can get a stack of them in so many chests, but what you're looking for is supplement before you have to buy. So opening those is going to give you other materials, things to sell, gold for other things you need for the legendary, but get your obby shards, all right? Spirit shards to obby shards, and you're actually going to amass a lot of things. And I'm telling you the way to do this. In fact, on the wiki, the way it's listed is probably the way you should do it, but we're going to skip around just a little bit because I do think the order of operations for certain things will ease up on what you need later. So, spirit shards first. Once you have those, you're set. Obby shards, okay? So, we talked about getting them from vendors, the easiest way. to doing a guild hall, just mining those materials, to opening loot chests and silver waste. And then I'm going to forget here for a second. Just give me a second. Reward tracks. If you do PvP World versus World, you'll get them from reward tracks. And that's pretty simple, but it's not always a lot, okay? Some of them do give you a good chunk of them, but it's not always a lot, and it's usually just 2 at a time, okay? Much like the loot chest and silver waste give you like 1 or 2 or something like that. So it's not a lot, but you can do those over and over. The reward tracks take a little bit longer. When you do the Gift of Battle, which we'll talk about here in a second, when you do the Gift of Battle, you'll get some as well. So you're gonna have to do a reward track anyways. You're gonna get something. You also get some mystic clovers from that, if I think. No, maybe not. At the end, I think you get 2. So, but then the final way to do it is through a different type of vendor. And that unlocks the Karmic Converter, which I can't open right now. Is earned through a collection. Karmic Converter. Hold on. It's a lot of knowledge. Excuse me? Yeah, that was weird. Unknown command. I must have spelled wiki wrong. The Karmic Converter is from the Exotic Hunter collection. Alright? You're gonna need all sorts of different collection stuff. Exotics. It's just exotics. I don't think any of them are too expensive anymore, but I could be wrong. I don't know if there is a whole list of them. Right now, a Karmic Converter will set you back, if you were to buy these skins, 252 gold quick buy, or through buy orders 214 gold. Alright. So, not too bad, to be honest, to start earning some obby shards. Now, some days you can get 3 obby shards, some days 5, and some days 10. I think that's the numbers. And it's for 5,000 karma. There's some other things you can get in there, like a heavy crafting bag for tier 6 materials and things like that. But 5,000 karma, not a whole lot to be spending on obby shards comparatively if you go buy them from a vendor or some other way. So, that's one way to do it. The Ley Energy Matter Converter is earned through HOT by beating the Mordremoth battle in Dragon Stand fast enough, less than 20 minutes, I think, which actually isn't too hard to do anymore. And then it will cost you map currencies. Trying to see if there's any obby shards in here. So there's a bag of obsidian, is what they're called. So there was 3 there. So that's another way to do it. However, map currencies do run out compared to karma. Karma you pretty much just earn anywhere. So figure out what you want from this. I highly suggest any tier 6 materials, maybe tier 3, tier 4 crafting materials, and obby shards when you're doing legendary hunts. So those are the 5 main ways to do it. Now, there is some other vendor trickery, and we're just going to touch on this now because it's important that I touch on it in just keeping with the idea of legendaries and stuff like that. This is not the way to earn materials for legendaries anymore, just because of the sheer amount of cost. Okay? Sheer amount of cost. You do not want magic warped packets, although they do give that. But these packages are gold and they cost 500 unbound magic in the Living Story Season 3. And the magic warped bundles are legendary bags. You can also buy obby shards straight up right here. I don't know how many I can buy total. 1,032 max. So this would be a pretty good way from a vendor too. In fact, that might be the cheapest way. Now think about it. Getting unbound magic is really easy. I have 103,000 and I've stopped consuming my stuff. I now sell them. But anyhow. So there's the obby shards. But the magic warped bundles, the reason why I talk about these, we're going to grab 10 of them. It's going to cost me 10 gold, 5,000 unbound magic. The reason we're going to talk about these a bit, and I can't preview them, so is that they contain all the materials you'll need for a legendary in some way that you usually can buy or you have to eventually buy. The only thing that isn't in here is icy runestones. So anyways, when I open this up, we're going to get things like Ecto. This actually wasn't a horrible roll. The worst thing we got here, I think, was the pristine Toxic Spores. So you can get some pretty bad stuff. But you'll get Lodestones, things like that. You can also get 2 Mystic Clovers, which isn't too bad. Then you can also get Obby Shards. And then there's like Freshwater Pearls, things like that. But you can also get things like Putrid Essages, Karka Shells, and stuff like that. That really lowers the price. And then there's some other things that are only worth like 7 silver and stuff like that, like pieces of Mother of Pearl and those kind of things. So, but we actually did pretty well here. So I'm glad that since I'm showing this off, we ended up with 20 Blood and 10 Vicious Claws, 20 Ancient Bones. I needed all of this stuff. In fact, I'm really low on Crystalline Dust, but we'll talk about why. Got some Ecto. I have not had a stack of Ectoplasm since I had to buy some to do a gamble on New Year's. But I have 135 of these, now 137. Destroyer Lodestones. So not too bad of a roll. Not the way to do it, though. I'm showing you there are other options. I actually did forget about Obby Shards here. If I'm being completely honest, this is pretty cheap. Like, now I think I have something to spend this on, because I was thinking back, like, what am I going to spend my Unbound Magic on? Because the return on Magic Warp bundles, I think, is somewhere between 5 and 8%. The Magic Warp packets, the return on those varies heavily to loss. You can still lose gold on these, but the potential profit on the average is still only 3 to 10%. It really depends on what you pull out of here. And this has like wood, metal, that kind of stuff, just crafting materials all the way up to tier 7. So like the Ascended stuff, the Thrillium and that kind of thing. So, Little Leppy, hello. But yeah, just an option, something to think about, not the way to do it. We'll touch on some more of that here in the future. Now we're going to talk about the Gift of Battle, the only way to earn it. I highly suggest doing this as one of the first things you do as well, just because the amount of stuff you can get from the Gift of Battle reward track. So inside of World versus World is where you're going to have to do it for Gen 1. And anytime you need a Gift of Battle, as far as I know. I don't think you earn any through achievements, but maybe one. I'm not 100%, so don't hold me to it. So the third tab is your reward tracks. We're talking the Gift of Battle. I have done it several times. In fact, I'm halfway through it already. But inside of here, there's Obby Shards, Memories of Battle. Yeah, you do get a couple Mystic Clovers, and at the end you get... That's it. Just get a Mystic Clover. Couple Mystic Clovers. But it looks like you get at least 12 Obby Shards. So it's a way to save money. You also get an Amalgamated Gemstone if you're doing the Gen 2 stuff. And there's all sorts of other Tomes of Knowledge for Spirit Shards. Oh, I didn't talk about that with Spirit Shards. Tomes of Knowledge. You earn those through daily logins. They're account bound, however. But that's another great way to get Spirit Shards. Alright? So Tomes of Knowledge. They fall from everywhere. From reward tracks, other things. But your character has to be level 80. Also, if you're doing dailies and you get those writs of experience as a level 80, you can convert those as well. A little bit all over the place. Again, there's just so much you can do. And as a vet, I have access to all of it, so I'm going to be a little confused. Tomes of Knowledge. So down here, you can buy Spirit Shards directly, which you can consume all, or you can turn those writs of experience into a Tome of Knowledge. So if I wanted to get Spirit Shards quickly through my Tomes of Knowledge, you can also come over here and do that. Just showed this earlier when talking about Spirit Shards. But Tomes of Knowledge always escape me because I only use them for the weekly key runs or to get a character to level 80 quickly. But even then, I have scrolls and stuff like that. There are other things that give you Spirit Shards throughout the game, like achievements and stuff like that. But that is definitely an easier way to do it. I don't think getting 200 Spirit Shards now is as much of an issue as it was in 2012, 13, 14. before we hit HOT and they started changing the system and stuff like that. When they just started to do quality of life stuff, it got a little easier. Even when they changed it to be like, oh, now you don't get spirit shards, you just find them by killing things. That happens too, by defeating champs, opening champ bags, and then just defeating creatures out in the open world. Sometimes they drop spirit shards, but it's rare. I wouldn't rely on the RNG. I would take control of what you can control, and that's tomes of knowledge and leveling your characters. So, Starmaster, hello. You have 348 Mystic Clovers. Gosh, dang! From World vs. World reward tracks. After making 3 sets of World vs. World Legendary armor, there you go. The synergy, the synergy. Mystic Clovers can be sold if you really want to, but go map. Get some exploration, make some Gen 1s. Mystic Clovers are one of the hardest parts. Just to let everybody know. But anyways, back to the Gift of Battle. So here it is. Gift of Battle. You will have to spend, even with all the boosters and things like that, you'll have to spend just over 5 hours in World vs. World doing things. Anything to get you tier 6 participation. Okay? So, I highly suggest before you even start the reward track, get tier 6 participation. Then eat all your boosters and turn it on. The reason I say that is because then it just moves. But, you know, earn when you can, I guess. Earn when you can. But I would not really put boosters on until you have tier 6 participation to get the full reward. But there it is. You have 40 things to earn, and then the Gift of Battle's at the end. If you don't have boosters and stuff, like Guild Hall, or even just World vs. World boosters, or Heroic booster, or whatever you want to use, an Experience booster. If you don't have that stuff, try to find banners and things like that in the open world. I don't remember if those even affect it. I'm trying to think what affects it. There's things that affect your reward track potential. There's the snow globe and stuff now. But even if you don't do that, as long as you're participating in things like that in World vs. World, I don't think this takes you longer than 8 hours. Which is a good chunk of time, and you may not love World vs. World, but there is another way to go about this. And I need to change back to my other reward track. What was I doing? Artemaguma? You know what, let's stay on that one. Just because I can't remember. But there's another way to go about this. There is something in this game called dailies. I know, some of you are like, what? Dailies? You've already talked about those, haven't you? Inside those dailies, there are World vs. World dailies. And if you don't like doing the reward track, good news is it only takes 80 potions to get it done. And each daily gives you a different amount of potions. You can get 6 a day, is what I'm trying to say. So 6 a day. But if you're already in there and you have tier 6 participation and you're doing the dailies, right? You could get that reward track done even faster. So if you're already in there with Max, you're doing the dailies, you eat the potions. They're 250 apiece, by the way, which gives every 2 gives you 1 item in the thing. Just to keep, that's why you need 80. But do your World vs. World dailies. There is a very easy daily. If you've already gotten enough achievement points and unlocked these chests up here, you more than likely got badges out of them. The big spender achievement is as simple as going into your guild hall and buying a badge of tribute. You can sell it or give it to your guild or whatever you're going to do. But that will give you potions every once in a while. Save up those potions. That's why when you look inside my bank here, you see me sitting on 100 potions of World vs. World rewards. That's because usually a new reward track comes out at some point and I just quickly finish it to get the end reward. And those end rewards have some pretty good stuff in them, including Mystic Clovers, Obby Shards, and other things you may need. Ascended materials, some really good stuff. So, but the potions are another way to go about it. Same thing with PvP, okay? PvP does give you some of that stuff with reward tracks, but the potions, do the dailies, earn them, and then you can either save them up or just use them immediately. If you're already going for the Gift of Battle, I see no reason not to consume them immediately. And once you have it, then save them up just in case you want to do a different reward track for whatever reason, is what I suggest. Now, you can do whatever you want. but that's just what I do. I usually always have 80 on hand, but I'll save these all the way to a stack. I think on one of my alt accounts I have a stack of them just sitting on there. In fact, alt accounts are a great way to make legendaries as well, just because they will get things over time, and so you can just, you know, do map completion on an alt account, get all the account bound stuff over there, and I just do the big spender and stuff like that. Getting achievements not too hard, in all honesty. I mean, you're just playing PvE and things like that. Trying to think on what that other account, yeah, it has 2,000 badges of honor last time I looked, so it's not too bad. So one of them is just the core game, and I still earn a good amount. So okay, so that's the gift of battle. That's the only way to earn it. I don't think there's any other way to earn it, and I want to check for one thing on the wiki really quick about the gift of battle. Gift of battle. So Obby shards, spirit shards, gift of battle, not really hard, but time consuming, and it gives you all sorts of rewards. Yeah, just the reward track is the gift of battle. I had to double check. I left the wiki open. We already talked about gift of exploration. That was through map completion. That's what started this entire conversation, right? So you'll have to do all of the 22 maps in Central Tyria. I think it's 22. Took me less than 20 hours. It may take you a bit longer than that. Try to get a map done a week, a night, whatever you want to do. You'll earn Black Lion keys. Black Lion keys are worth money. You can open Black Lion chests, get nice things out of them. So, including things that can help you make legendaries. But we're not really going to touch on that because it's a gamble. Not a sure way. It's one of those off things that if you get lucky, you get lucky. Excuse me. Whew. Sorry about that. But anyways, gifts of exploration. All this stuff I just talked about. Spirit shards, gift of battle, gift of exploration, and the 250 Avi shards. That is the gift of mastery. That is a quarter of a legendary. So once you have the gift of mastery done, you're on your way there. Okay? But there is something in the next part called the gift of fortune that I want to talk about, and that's mystic clovers. Now, doing the reward track will give you mystic clovers, but the synergy goes both ways on mystic clovers. When you're trying to forge them, you may get obby shards and mystic coins and other things like lodestones and tier 6 mats. I highly suggest, after you're done with your reward track and everything, go after your mystic clovers. Get the 77 mystic clovers you need. And what you need to do to get those is forge mystic coins, globs of ectoplasm, obby shards, and either philosopher's stones to roll them one at a time, which technically has a higher chance, but boy does it take a long time. Or you can do 10 at a time for mystic crystals, and they'll give you 10 times the rewards back. So, and the reason you want to do that as early as possible is when you start getting into the other parts of the gift of fortune, like the tier 6 mats, you can roll these. You can get these mats out. There's no way to convert them over to a mystic coin or anything like that, besides selling them, buying ecto, and then the other ways to get obby shards, or the mystic coins. There's no way to get mystic clovers besides the forge when you're actually just trying to get them. You know, the reward tracks are there. They'll give you some. There's some other things that will give them, like those bags I talked about earlier. But overall, it will come down to the forge to get the mystic clovers you need. So if I was to make 7 legendaries this year, I'd have to get 77 times 7 of these, and it would be extremely expensive. Unless I'm really lucky, like I was on my first legendary, where I ended up pulling like 160 of these, because I was trying to get other materials, and mystic coins weren't that expensive, so... And I knew how to get the ecto, and I bought a lot of obby shards, and I just kept rolling. And I did not get a lot of the other things. I got a lot of mystic coins and felt really bad. Later on, I was like, oh, that was actually a really good thing. But anyhow, just like earlier, Starmaster talked about 348 extra mystic clovers that they have now, doing the reward tracks. Mystic clovers, it's one of those things. It can either take a long time or it can only take 7 rolls. No joke. If you're lucky enough, it will take you just 7-8 rolls. If you're unlucky, it could be hundreds. No joke. It's just the way the RNG works. But you have a pretty high chance. I think it's like 30% for single and 25 for 10. So about what it took for a black line key on a map. Rolls go quickly. And there's no reason to sit here and talk about it without showing you how to do it, right? So we'll do a couple of each roll just to show you what's going on. Yes, I have a Mystic Forge in my pocket. So again, this is how you make 1 at a time. I got 3 dust back. And so this is how you make 10 at a time. So the crystals make 10, the philosopher's stones make 1. So we'll forge that. And it shot out 34 elaborate totems. But believe it or not, I just took a big loss. Which is good. I was short on elaborate totems in a sense. So if I'm going to get a bad roll, now is the time to get a bad roll. Later on, if you already have your tier 6 materials and things like that, it's not going to be that great. So just get what you need from the bad rolls so you can make something good out of it. Highly suggest doing it that way. If you don't do it that way, you're going to feel a little bit of disappointment when you pull out Gossamer scraps. Or Gossamer, bolts of Gossamer, or whatever it is. I guess those aren't as cheap as they once were, but man, was that disappointing back in the day. Same thing when you pull out Putrid Essence. I don't even know why that's in the lodestone stuff. It's so annoying. But anyhow, you can also pull back out Obby Shards and Mystic Coins. I can't remember if you can pull out the Crystals and Philosopher's Stones. I don't remember. But the Crystals and Philosopher's Stones, Spirit Shards. Again, more Spirit Shards are involved here, so you're going to definitely need more than 200, but I highly suggest going for the first 200, and then the rest will sort of just fall in place. You can use Tomes of Knowledge and stuff after that, for sure. But a roll will cost you 1 Spirit Shard, or at least a little less, technically. Wait, what is it? No. 1 Spirit Shard will give you 10 rolls, right? And then the 3 Spirit Shards are 5. So it's something like that. But they're here. I'm done with the math. My brain's already fried for having to think everything that goes into a legendary weapon. Have I ever said I hate crafting in Guild Wars 2? I hate crafting in all MMOs, to be honest. But Perfect World, I think, had the best crafting because you can actually make things better even at the lower levels and stuff like that, and I thought it was really cool. In Guild Wars 2, it is a very convoluted mess. Crafting should not be complex. And yet, developers and programming and just that, they have no vision. Their innovative ability to make a good crafting system in any game is limited by the fact that they're like, you have to make every piece. And I just think that's utterly BS. I think I should be able to click on something that I want, hit the button, and watch a timer tick down as it makes all the stuff because I have all the components to make it, no matter where it is. I'm serious. If I have to click through 8 pages to make something, then the game knows whether I have it or not. I shouldn't have to craft 20 of these, craft 15 of those, blah, blah, blah. The game should just be like, you don't have these materials to make this one major thing. Guild Wars 2 efficiency is how you craft. I use that sometimes. But anyhow, I'm just throwing that out there. I do not like crafting in this game. It just overloads me. There's just so much stuff involved. Yeah, the next thing, so Mystic Clovers. So once you get that stuff out of the way, your Gift of Mastery, you have your Mystic Clovers. Now we need to start talking about the rest of the Gift of Fortune. It's the most expensive piece. That's why it's called the Gift of Fortune, right? We're talking tier 6 mats. There are several ways to get tier 6 mats. You can get them with laurels. You can get them with the Mystic Forge by upgrading. We'll show a little bit of that in here in a second. But heavy crafting bags have tier 6 materials. But in honesty, look at these medium and light ones. You might be able to get enough out of these to sell them to buy more tier 6 mats. But if you don't want to do that, just buy the tier 6 mats. I understand complexity is not your friend. So if you want an assured thing, just buy the tier 6. Anytime it says heavy crafting bag, that is tier 6. Or at least tier 5 for lodestones. Lodestones don't have 6 tiers, they just have 5. Well, technically now they have... See, again, crafting, what the F? Just the entire thing is a convoluted mess. ArenaNet is consistently inconsistent. Okay, so you just have to deal with it. So to upgrade tier 5 materials into tier 6, I'm almost to armored scales. What I'm going to need is 50 of the tier 5. We're going to go ahead and pull out all 200. I need 1 tier 6, and then I'm going to need 5 of the tier 6 dust. So I'm using the very dust I'm going to need to make part of the either gift of magic or gift of might. I think it's magic, right? So you have to make a gift of magic, gift of might in the forge by forging 4 of the tier 6 together. What you're doing, but you need a stack of them at the end of the day. That's the important part. So what I also need is philosopher stones, and then I'm going to open the forge. I'm going to place 50 of these, 1 of those, 5 of these, and I believe 5 of those. So 5 philosopher stones, so it costs you some spirit shards. And then you just upgrade. And I'm going to get 6 back. Don't forget, you lose the one tier 6 scale. So I lost 1, gained 5. Technically, I didn't really make a profit there. But if you keep at this long enough, the averages will tell you that you will average at least 7 or more. And the nice part about that is profit. That is profit. But with dust going up and things like that, be very careful what you want to upgrade. Usually try to upgrade the most expensive materials first because they have the biggest profit margin. Usually. Not always, depending on what the trading post and stuff's doing. But if you don't care, you just have a ton of dust. There you go. But that's how you convert up. The other lower tier materials use different amounts of stuff. Use the wiki /wiki, whatever you're trying to upgrade, and learn the system. It does take some time. But if you don't want to spin the laurels, you don't want to upgrade that way, killing things out in the open world is an option if you know where to get that. Also, opening chant bags, things like that. And if you have Season 4, we're going to go out there and talk about that really quick for Tier 6 materials. There's all sorts of ways to get Tier 6 material. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get Tier 6 materials. You can get them from Black Lion chests too. It's just long list of ways to get Tier 6. I'm just showing you some of the major ones that I do just to get it done. Not always gonna save me gold. It's usually just gonna save me time. So if time is money, I'm saving something. But again, if you're out there doing a lot of meta events and killing a lot of creatures, you may have a lot of the material done anyways. But I'm gonna come out here and talk about the Season 4 shipments. So these will cost me 250 volatile magic and a gold. It will cost you a gold, so you don't always get a good return on these. I'm going to grab 10 of these just to show you what you get, if I can. So that's going to cost me 10 gold right there. Goodbye. But 10 of these, there's no preview again. So what we're going to get is just a bunch of stuff here. That's just 10 of them. Earlier we got 20 out of the other bags, but I'm going to show you all the Tier 6 mats I got. So we ended up with extra scales. Tier 6. Tier 6. I think that's it. But we also got Tier 5 mats. What am I missing here? I didn't get any dust. I didn't get any dust. That's rare. But anyhow, we got a lot of the Tier 5 materials. I'm just going to stack them above. And then you get some of this crappy stuff out here. This stuff ain't worth any money. It's not worth anything. But anyhow, so in 10 of those, you can earn more than the gold you spend, but it's rare. What it really comes into is if you open, say, 50 of those boxes, you'll get a good chunk, and then you'll have to convert this stuff up. If you want to try to earn some of that back and things like that. That's what I usually do. But there it is. So 10, so 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. I ended up with 70 Tier 6. So that was 10 gold. Not too bad. No, we profited. This right here, right? 15? Yeah. We just didn't get as much blood as I wanted. Got more blood from the other bags, which was just luck. But no Tier 6 dust is a rarity for me. Anyways, I'm just going to deposit that stuff. That is an option. Then there's all sorts of things. I remind you that you can just buy that stuff directly off the trading post by farming other things. You can sell extra tier 6. In fact, if you're going after a legendary and you have extra tier 6 mats that aren't used in something else, sell them. Get rid of them. Get that liquid gold in your pocket so you can start deciding where you want to save some time. But don't do it all immediately. If you're not done with everything else and you have to go out in the open world for whatever reason, it's always best to wait. But it's always okay to have liquid gold in your wallet. Don't have gold in your wallet, you risk not having one or two of something and just coming to a standstill, and that creates burnout. That will burn you out because you're so close yet so far. You have to go find a way to get it or earn money or whatever it is, and you may even break down and beg someone in map chat and be like, please, can someone send me just like 3 blood? Right? Because you're just that close. But the thing is, if you're already out there in the open world and stuff like that, you could have saved money and things. And remember, selling and buying cost money. There's a tax, 15%, so know that too. But anyways, tier 6 mats. I mean, if there was an easy way to do this, people are already doing it, okay? So just find that easy way for you and get it done. Piles of crystalline dust. There's a few ways you can earn it. You can break down ecto. You can salvage ecto and get dust back. I don't suggest doing that because you don't get enough return. But, as I said, if I don't showcase it, what's the point of doing it? So what I'm going to do is just salvage. The better the salvage thing, the more you're going to get usually. But it will salvage into luck and dust. I only got 1 dust, so it cost me like 10 silver there to show you this. But that is a way. In fact, ecto got so cheap at one point and dust was so expensive that I was salvaging ecto so I could finish off my luck. That's how I actually finished off my luck on this account, was getting dust to upgrade things. And I actually made money at the end of the day, but that was at the time the market was just right. I'm one of those people, when everybody else's wallet is dropping in the market, mine's going up. Just the way I invest things, it's just backwards to a lot of people, but it works at the end of the day. Rarely does my account crash by like 150,000 gold or anything like that. All my stuff is permanent investment that holds value even at the end of the day. 10 years down the road, I could probably still be in the top 5% of this game easily if I was just to quit today, just because of the investments I have. So, like opening the Black Lion chest gives me gem stored items, and those will keep their value forever. Because 800 gems is probably still going to be 10 bucks, you know? Things like that. So, just thrown out there. Now, the value of gold may not be, but again, everybody gets hit at the same time. You tend to end with a lot of excess ecto and no gold. That's why you sell the ecto. But ecto right now, 23 silver, so But the crystalline dust used to be pretty cheap. It's sitting at 13, so yeah, about 10 silver is what we lost there. You can get more than 1. You can get 2, I think. I don't think you can 3. But if you get 2, then you technically save 3 silver. But the chances of that happening, I think it's like a 1.1 to 1 ratio. So you'll never get a return that big. I don't think. I could be wrong about that unless it's higher than that. I just don't remember right. So a lot of your wealth is gem stuff. That's really the things you should invest in when you're a veteran of this game. After 4 or 5 years, I highly suggest investing in convenience items and gem store stuff like the tools, just because it just keeps your account value steady. And I'm not talking about swipe the credit card. I'm talking about taking your gold, turning it into the gems, buying the stuff. Yes, you can do that. But there it is. But anyhow, pile of crystalline dust. A stack of this would set me back right now 33 gold. That's the highest it's been in some time. In the last 8 years, I think this is the highest it's ever been. I could be wrong. But when it's below 10 silver, it's pretty nice. At one point, it was like 8 silver. Ecto was like 35. So just imagine the amount of loss you would have if you were salvaging Ecto. But at the same time, imagine if you needed dust over Ecto, you could sell the Ecto and get a lot of dust. But they do go hand in hand with each other. They're not a 2-to-1 ratio, like I said. But this is used in so much stuff now, they do need to add another source in here, I think, just because it's used in the other things. That's why converting from tier 5 to tier 6 has gotten a little more edgier, because just the sheer cost. But Ecto, Mystic Clovers, what else? Tier 6 mats, that's it. That's the Gift of Fortune. Ecto, if you're wondering how to earn a lot of Ecto in a very short amount of time, world bosses, and just any of the world stuff. Drizzlewood Coast, that kind of stuff. They give you so many rares. Just salvage your rares. Salvage your rares. Anything level 68 or above, just salvage it. Don't argue with me. Use a Mystic Salvage Kit or the exact same kind of rarity. Do not use a Black Lion Salvage Kit. You'll be wasting it. Although you should technically be getting more Ecto from that, but I don't know. Salvage, 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 and you will have your Ecto. You'll have all sorts of other materials we're going to get into here in a second. So, salvaging, extremely important to the long game. Not so much the short game, but the long game. So if you're going to be working on a legendary, start salvaging for Ecto now. I have too much Ecto is always a lie. You're going to need Ecto for something. I am short on Ecto all the time right now because I'm not doing big meta events in the game, okay? So Ecto, keep it, okay? Unless you really need to sell it. But the other thing is, don't forget, you need Ecto for Mystic Clovers. You're going to need a stack of Ecto for the Gift of Fortune. So try to have at least 2 stacks if you're going to go after a legendary, or try to get there. Again, if you do this piece by piece, over time, you can get a nice feeling of gratitude for doing what you're doing, you know? Oh, I got this piece done, yeah, right? But at the same time, it can burn you out if you're so focused on that one part of the legendary. So, like, when I was talking about doing Spirit Shards, Obby Shards, the Gift of Exploration, and the Gift of Battle, all that stuff is more you're playing the game. When you're going after Mystic Clovers or the Tier 6 materials, that kind of thing, that's where the burnout really starts. Because you have goals in mind, but there's so many of them. You have 8 Tier 6 mats to get the stack of, and then you have to decide whether you're going to sell the extra or what's going to happen here. Getting Ecto, you're going to need a couple stacks of those and stuff like that. Like Obby Shards, they're really quick to buy when you buy them and things like that. So what you should plan is getting some of that stuff done, because then when you get here, it isn't that bad. If you're logging in daily and stuff like that for Mystic Coins, you don't have to spend the 2 gold a piece on them. A stack of Mystic Coins will throw you back over a Precursor's price. Just to let you know. We're going to talk about Precursors last, but Mystic Coins are the big thing. That's why I was talking about investing in extra accounts, because when those log in every day, you'll get a good chunk of Mystic Coins back from them. Mystic Coins can stop you in your tracks. So, just be aware of that. Burnout can happen when you're going after a legendary. Please don't burn out. Keep yourself paced and don't focus too hard on it all the time. Just decide if you have liquid money, what you want to spend that on when the time comes. When you start getting pieces of it done, you can start seeing what you're probably going to need the most of at a certain point. But when the Gift of Mastery and the Gift of Fortune done, you can turn and look at the weapon gift, which is also something you can work on as you're doing Mystic Clovers, in my opinion. Remember when coins were less than 50? I remember when coins couldn't be sold on the trading posts. 2 silver a piece. In fact, I bought 3 stacks of Mystic Coins back in the day because they were so cheap, and I was like, I'm probably gonna need these for something. And then they got to like 40-something silver, and I sold those stacks. I was like, profit? And now look at me. Don't even have 2 stacks anymore. But anyhow. Back in my day, Mystic Coins just rained from the sky. Now the barons hold them hostage and flippers keep the price high, which, again, ain't at BS. Mystic Coins should only cost between 50 and 75 silver max. Max! I don't care if they bottom out in price. You need them for so many things. I just don't understand. It's the same thing when Ecto got up to like 40, 50 silver. ArenaNet was like, oh, better add a bunch of freaking Ecto to the game, and it dropped all the way down to 14 silver. Oh, could do that for Ecto, but you can't do it for Mystic Coins? Everybody out there, all the rich people and the 8-year veterans are like, you gotta put the time in, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Shut up with your nonsense because you're flipping them on the trading post. Every time I see a white knight for the Mystic Coin price, I have to think you're a capitalist freaking pig. Because there's no other way you would justify that goddamn price in a Mystic weapon that you're not even going to use ever. You're going to tell me that 50 to 100 Mystic Coins in a skin you're never going to use is worth it? Get out of here. Get out of here with your nonsense, and don't tell me that there's other ways to earn it, like the freaking Leyline Energy Boss or whatever else you got out there. Or, oh, you can get it from this event, maybe, or from fractals or whatever it is. There's so few of them that you can earn there that it's better just to log in on multiple accounts to get them. That's right. It's better to go spend real life money, get more Guild Wars 2 accounts, and earn them that way because it would be faster, more efficient, and guaranteed than to go do it the other ways you're going to tell me anyways. But if they were just cheaper, I could just tell people to go farm this and then they go buy them off the trading post. But how can I convince someone that you're going to need 500 of them? It's going to cost you 1,000 freaking gold for those Mystic Coins. No, I would not spend 1,000 gold on Mystic Coins. I would find a way to get them for free, which is logging in daily. This should not cost the most out of your legendary. It should not. One little thing should not cost you the most, and it does. That's how I know it's BS. That's like charging $60 per screw in your car. Woo! Doesn't make sense. Even if I took the price of gold and put a dollar amount to it, you would not spend $2 per screw on your car. You would not. It would raise the value by $5,000 easy. You realize how many screws are in your car? No, you don't. Or anything. A controller, whatever. $2 per screw is far too much. That's what Mystic Coins are. I'm just screwing them into things and seeing if I get something good in return. Let alone they're like, oh, we're going to go make an achievement out in Alona where you have to throw one of these into a fountain and blah, blah, blah. So they put another sink in the game? Get out of here. I hate Mystic Coins. They're the worst valued thing in Guild Wars 2. You cannot tell me another thing in this game that has a worse value to it, that is needed the most. Nothing. The demand for them is so freaking high that there would be a supply that would already be being printed off in a factory somewhere. Trust me. Salt Cube Factory? F it. We're going to be the Mystic Coin Factory. After today, we're just gonna print Mystic Coins. We'll be billionaires. ArenaNet needs to fix it. And if you don't think it needs fixed, you don't get it. You just don't get it. If you're gonna throw some economy, blah, 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 it's a video game. It's a goddamn video game. So anytime you bring real life shit into it, that's what pisses me off. Really? You know what needs value? You want to talk about what needs value too? You want to talk about that? How about some Foxfire clusters that used to be like 80,000 gold? Remember those things? They used to be like freaking expensive. 80 silver at least when they were coming down in price, and you still can make a profit. You know how much they are now? You know how much a Foxfire cluster is? 59 copper. Wow. You know what needs value? Anything freaking else besides Mystic Coins. Trust me. There's not a lot. You know what happened at Freshwater Pearls? They're cheaper than Mystic Coins. You don't need 500 Mystic Coins to make to make anything, right? Wait, you need 500 Mystic Coins to make a legendary, but you don't need 500 freaking Freshwater Pearls to make anything. Yet it's still cheaper to get those to make those armor? What? What? So they'll kill the price of something you only needed 45 of or whatever it was. But they won't kill the price of something that's inching towards that way. I can see them hitting 3, 4, 5 gold. By then, ArenaNet's going to be like, oh, and then they're just going to crash the market all the way down to 10 silver. Trust me, they're not going to get it right. But they slowly introduce Mystic Coins in other ways in the game, then the demand can't possibly stay way up here above the supply, and the supply will finally take it and the price will come down. It doesn't matter how many people are flipping it because the Mystic Coins can't maintain that price. If there are so many Mystic Coins coming into the game. But the thing is, you don't need to be drastic and add 10, 20 a day into the game per player. No, you just need to add 1 or 2, and eventually it'll start to add up with the 350,000 players that play in a day. God. Oh, but people are hoarding them. They're only hoarding them because they're so expensive. That's why I keep them. They're just so expensive. But if you get, it's like toilet paper. During the pandemic, the price of toilet paper is stupid expensive now. Why? Because everybody bought toilet paper. But I guarantee you there's some blow schmo with the freaking warehouse full of toilet paper because they're like, we're going to swindle people out of this, right? Or people who just haven't even used any of that toilet paper because they already had enough toilet paper. That's my point. That's when demand goes crazy for something. But Mystic Coins have been around for so long that there isn't excuses except your excuse for not putting more in the game. And there's my rant about Mystic Coins. New players should not struggle with something so simple that is given out in a freaking daily login. God! But it gives value to the legendaries. That should just show you that other things need to gain value somehow too. If you want to keep legendaries competitive, you can't let freaking metals and wood and all this stuff right here just fall to the ground. You just can't do that. But that's what you did. But then you put a sink in. But then they made the prices go too high. So you just start throwing more into the game. It's just this round robin of when are you going to get it right. But if you just did the goddamn math or had a way of market that wasn't just free, supply and demand market, you actually had a freaking moderator, a middleman to make sure the price don't go too far this way or doesn't go down too far this way. Right? You add a price to everything. And I'm not talking about this freaking how much is one iron? How much is one iron ore? What was it? 3 copper. 3 copper. Now I'm talking about a reasonable price. All right? It doesn't have to meet something. It just needs to be better than that. And it's nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. You waste more Mystic Coins gambling for Mystic Clovers than you actually use inside of recipes. I want to let you know that. On average, you will waste more Mystic Coins not getting what you want than to actually go craft something that will give it to you directly. That is the problem with them. Min-max pricing, I don't care what they do, but their system right now for the economy sucks. But if you can stabilize ecto prices at about 19 to 25 silver, you can do it with Mystic Coins for 50 silver-ish. And the reason why I don't want Mystic Coins dirt cheap is because then there isn't value to them, right? When they were at 2 silver, that wasn't the thing that cost you money. It was the precursors and stuff that had a lot of value to them. But as those prices started to fall, the Mystic Coins caught that devalue and just kept going. And the thing is, it just took off, you know? But everything in a Gen 1 Legendary has gotten cheaper over the years. It's just inflation makes it look like it's gotten more expensive. But Mystic Coins have by far inflated the most in price. And have beaten that inflation. It's just dumb. All right, rant over. We need to move on. Let's talk about what we have to spend gold on. Okay? You will have to have 100 gold. You're like, what? What do I need 100 gold for? Icy runestones. I'm going to look this up to make sure. Icy runestones can be bought from one dude. Also in the Jormag Defenders Kit. What is that? Oh, you get that from an achievement that I definitely don't have unlocked. I don't know what any of that stuff is. Jormag's Claw Frag? Oh, the Jormag Defense. Now I know what this is. Get 10 from there? That's not enough. You need 100. All right. I don't know if I have any Icy Runestones. They go into your account now. But right here, Icy Runestones. Sell them for 12 silver, 50 copper. Don't ever sell them to a merchant. Don't. Shut up. Don't ever do it. Earthshake Waypoint. So once you're done with the Jormag world boss, so if you are going after Ecto and you end up doing Jormag, if you have 100 gold sitting in your wallet, you're going to have to spend that 100 gold anyways. Make sure you keep enough gold in your wallet that you go and waypoint to the other world boss, because you don't want to not be able to keep doing what you're doing. But sometimes other people go out here and they beat this world boss and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to leave this guy. So right now, Rohan, I don't know how the name of this person works, because they're technically this guy. So here's the Icy Runestones. You need 100 of them. And you can buy 100 of them at once. It'll limit you. But you can buy 100 of them. I believe you can buy more than that in a day. Also, the corrupted stuff for the... I think those make, like, thing you need for the other weapons to get the Jormag Defender. That is important right now. What's important is, this is where you get them. And you'll have to spend 100 gold. It's just 100 gold gone. It's just something you suck up and do because you have to do it, okay? I've done it several times now. Closing in on, like, 20 times. So... But Jormag must be, well, the Claw of Jormag must be defeated for that merchant to appear. Although, I have seen maps glitch out and this guy just be sitting here forever. So, just come check to see if he's there. If you have the gold, check consistently, or come help beat Jormag to make sure you get the map IP merchant. So, there it is. Let's go back home. Icy Runestones, that's it. Now we're going to talk about stuff that's just varies based on the legendary you're going after. So you're either going to need a gift of wood, a gift of metal, a gift of energy, depending on what you're going to be getting. Any of these recipes that I'm talking about right now have to be crafted. I'll forget every time and try to Mystic Forge it. But it'll cost you 10 gold to get those recipes. There's the gift of metal, gift of wood, gift of energy. Why the gift of ice starts up here, I don't know. This stuff isn't in ABC order, but that is what it is. So if you need any of the gifts of whatever, they're found here. They're 10 gold a piece. You will need money for that. But once you buy them, you know them. You'll never have to buy them again. But the gift of metal, wood, and energy are the most important ones. You will have to buy one of these or all of them eventually. So just to throw it out there. Some people just come up and just buy this stuff. I don't think I have ever bought a recipe unless I absolutely needed it. So I don't have all this. And some of these gifts are used multiple times as well. Like the gift of ice, or no, not the gift of ice, the gift of light. For sure, I know that's used in several things. The gift of darkness, I think, too. Maybe not. Maybe I just made that. But once you have them, you have them. The gift of metal is 250 platinum ingots, 250 dark steel ingots, 250 mithril, and 250 orichalcum. And you have to craft it. Getting this stuff, not too bad. Just gather as you're doing things. You'll gain this material from salvaging. Platinum can be turned into platinum ingots from jewelry, and then dark steel from the other weaponsmiths. I think all of them can make it now, but I'm not sure. But you'll have to buy the primordium from a merchant, from the master merchants. So, but platinum ore and iron in general are really easy because there's rich platinum veins that are permanent, and you can do a rotation, and on a few characters you can have at least a stack. So if not the 500 you need for both of these. Mithril is really easy to come by. If you're not swimming in mithril, I mean, go walk through ore, go do a higher tier map. There's rich mithril nodes all over the place. Salvaging things tend to give you mithril, so there it is. The next one, the gift of wood, you will need seasoned wood. Alright, you will need a stack of seasoned, a stack of hard, a stack of elder, a stack of ancient wood. Ancient wood is the thing that's going to catch you. If you're not hitting ancient saplings or anything like that, where people get really excited when they see them, Quando. later. Enjoy your dinner. But if you need wood, go harvest it. I mean, season wood can be a little harder, but this stuff isn't that expensive. Hardwood used to be like 11 silver or something like that. But a stack of it, not too bad. I'm talking about the planks, by the way. So, not too bad, but over your travels and doing things, you should be able to get this, especially if you're playing the newer content. It'll definitely drop. But other than that, harvesting this stuff and harvesting things in maps is a good idea if you ever want a legendary. This other materials don't matter right now, so let's go down to the gift of energy. So here is the conundrum with the gift of energy. You will need radiant dust, luminous, incandescent, which this tier 5 dust is usually really easy to find. I think it's actually cheaper than the other tiers above it. Yeah, silver. These are the ones I talk about farming. If you go to any of the Ascalon maps and kill branded, you'll usually get those drops. So these are pretty expensive compared to wood and metal. And then you'll need 250 of the tier 6 crystalline dust. This, again, is going to set you back 33 gold. So if you're already made the gift of fortune and then you need the gift of energy, it's going to set you back at least 66, 67 gold to just tier 6 dust alone. It is the only material, I think, that stacks when it comes to one of those gifts. And then I'm not sure if the gift of something else holds this, but give me a second. Give me a quick second to look. But again, that's why it's important to get as much of tier 6 dust as you can. Use it in the Mystic Forge to upgrade things and stuff like that. God, you don't have to list all of that. You can upgrade tier 5 and to tier 6, but it'll take Mystic Crystals and Philosopher's Stones. Usually don't get enough back to make a big difference. Although tier 5 dust dropping in price is pretty good. But if it needs to be like 45 copper a piece, I think, to make the big difference. So,
Responsibility isn't easy.
I'm looking in here. It's used in all sorts of stuff. Trying to see if it's used.
We have so much to do.
Trying to see if it was used in a different gift. I don't see it. Gift of dust? I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the Gen 1 stuff. It's used in a lot, okay? Gift of blades. Alright, I'm gonna give up on it. I'm not sure. But it's used in a lot. So it can end up costing you just here in price, is what I'm trying to point out. But anyhow, tier 6 materials keep getting dived into. Then you're gonna need what are we missing? You're gonna need a superior sigil of some sort, depending on the legendary you pick. Look it up, or whatever it is. When you get the gift of a weapon, you're gonna have to forge it. So usually you make a couple gifts of something, the sigil, and then the 100 icy runestones in the forge, and that will give you the gift of whatever weapon you're trying to make. So the gift of Twilight, or whatever it is. So I believe the gift of Bifrost takes the gift of energy and something else. Not sure. Gift of Light? I can't remember. But those are themed gifts, is what I'm talking about over here. So when you buy one of these, it's a themed gift. So a gift of history, a gift of music, that's what they call it, a themed gift. You're going to need the gift of music for the minstrel. It tells you right here what you're going to need it for. The gift of darkness for Twilight. And so that is going to vary. I could spend on 3 hours here talking about each gift and where to get this stuff. But at the end of the day, what you're more than likely going to need is some type of tier 6 material in the crafting area. Whether it's you know, tier 6 hardened leather squares. Ancient wood. I'm trying to think. There's one with gossamer, I think. It'll be something like that. It'll be lodestones. So I know the gift of light or whatever, that's 100 charged lodestones, and so that can get pricey there. So it'll take lodestones. And then I'm trying to think of what some of the other ones are. I'm going to go ahead and see what's in here. 100 unidentified dye. It's going to take 250 orichalcum ingots. Yeah, there's the gossamer. Trying to see what else. There it is, the pilot card. The gift of history takes crystalline dust as well. I have so much to do. Lots of charged lodestones. Opal orbs are in there. Just stuff like that. And so there it is. Vials of Quicksilver takes silver doubloons. If you ever wonder why silver doubloons are so expensive, those are at least a gold. That's 250 gold. Silver doubloons also way overpriced. I've been fighting that for years. You may also need armored scales, powerful blood, some more tier 6 mats. They'll double dip into that. I don't think there's any tier 6 mats where it triple dips like it does in the crystalline ore. Just to let you know, I don't think it quadruple dips into it, but needing 3 stacks of crystalline ore can hurt. You end up just farming the stuff. That gift of lightning really helps because I don't have to use orichalcum or the charged lodestone. So if I did want to make bolts, I already have a good chunk of it done that way. The other thing, so you're going to need tier 6 materials for that themed gift. The other thing you're going to need is dungeon currencies. I have exchange vouchers for that, or you're going to have to go run the dungeon. If it's the gift of a raw, I highly suggest running other dungeon paths and doing the achievement. And I don't know if you need to unlock it, so I'm just going to type in dungeon and see if it shows up. Yeah, Hobby Dungeon Explorer. I don't know if you need to unlock this somehow. No, not that. Dungeon Frequenter. I'm sorry. And this will give you 150 tokens of your choice by doing 8 different paths. But the nice thing is it does synergize if you want more than one legendary or you need other things, like you want certain sigils or runes. So I suggest doing it this way. It also gives you liquid gold, 5 gold. They added this in because they reduced the rewards for dungeons in general, and then they put it back. I have no idea why they ever reduced the rewards. But this token chest is a major thing. So if you have some regular friends who can get together and do some dungeon paths every night, just get 8 of them done. You'll have to do 8 different paths, so usually the easiest paths are the ones you want to do. What's nice is those give you tokens, so if you ever need to make those legendaries in the future, you won't have to do it this way. And you can get these Tyrian exchange vouchers from weekly rewards at festivals, and Black Lion Chest are the major ways to get them. I get mine from Black Lion Chest. That's again why Black Lion keys are great for legendaries to earn things like this. Same thing with the Lockbreaker kits that I should use, but this is a good way to keep up on keys if you don't want to do extra stuff but still want rewards. So those 2 things are some of the best stuff I can get out of a Black Lion Chest. But other than that, you're going to have to do the work for whatever dungeon gift you need. Like the Gift of Ascalon is a major one. The Gift of Thorns, that kind of stuff. You will need something from a dungeon at some point. So, overall, making a themed gift can be expensive. Other times, it's not too bad. Depending on the materials inside of it and how much those materials cost. Sometimes you can just buy the stuff and be done with it. This for? Oh, vision. I was like, what? Never mind. And then the final part we're going to spend about 10 minutes talking about. You guys ready for this? Precursors. Precursors, precursors, precursors. Alright? I'm going to have to do it this way. I forgot. I can't just type in precursor, even though they should have their own category. Level 80. Exotic. An easy way to check for a lot of them is just type in the. The Bard, right? It'll tell you that this weapon is used to craft some legendary thing right at the bottom. At the bottom here it says, this weapon is used to craft the legendary focus, the Minstrel. And it's only 90 gold. Some of you are like, only? Yeah, it's pretty cheap compared to where it was and how easy it is to make gold in the game. But this is like 45 days worth of dailies. If you're really curious. But at the same time, you'll probably make gold faster than that if you're working on other legendary stuff and you're liquidating the extra tier 6 mats and blah, blah, blah. If you find the precursor first, you don't have to worry about this step. If you're out there in the world and somehow you get it, you throw some stuff in the forge for fun and there it is. You're done. But the thing about precursors is that they're expensive. The legend will throw you back 400 gold. But this is technically a quarter component to legendary weapons. Alright, so the Chosen, the Lover. Then there's other ones. If I take away the and just price highest to lowest. Ignore the Sentinels and this kind of stuff. Why is this so expensive? Those volcanic weapons, big mistake. If that's how expensive they are. Being flipped or something? I mean, great for whoever's making them and selling them, I guess. Maybe different stats? No, they're just that expensive? Wow, maybe I should look into it. Mjolnir is not a precursor, even though it would make sense if it was. But I've always wanted this hammer and just never got it. Actually, I've held 2 of them in my inventory at some point, but sold them or gave them away. But here's Dusk. It's the most expensive one for Twilight. 600 gold. It'll set you back. So yes, there's other ways to do this. There are achievements, collect things. If you're going to do a precursor that way, start with that. All right, let me say it again. So everything I've taught you to now is null and void if you're going to go into the collections and craft your precursor. Go into collections, legendary weapons, and you're doing any of this, stop everything else and focus on getting the crafting done of your precursor. It's going to take a lot of materials, a lot of time. It's going to give you money for other things, materials for other things, that kind of stuff. Even spirit shards will be involved. It requires tier 7 mats, all sorts of things that'll give you achievement points if that matters to you, which it should, because it may give you badges of honor, so you can, you know, buy those badges of tribute for the daily or whatever. You know, so you can do the reward track for the gift of battle. Things like that. You'll think of things like that. But if you're going to craft your precursor, which I've only done one, the hammer, the Juggernaut. I did the Juggernaut twice, and so I did it the hard way the first time, then crafted the precursor, messed it up, ended up costing me more money anyways, and it was still sucky experience. But I did it. I did it, got the twice told legend, and you can't tell me it wasn't worth it. Yeah, you can, but I won't believe you. I'm in denial until this day. But, alright, so everything I said to this point, null and void. If you're going to craft the precursor, go to that collection, get it done. Things may be bugged, things may not be bugged. I don't know. Ain't that's crazy out there. So just, there you go. But, if you're going to try to Mystic Forge it, which means putting in 4 exotics into the forge and hoping to get a precursor, you know, let's buy 4 exotics. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll mark... I'm gonna do 72 to 80. We'll see. We'll see what kind of numbers we get. Doesn't have to be warrior alone. And we're just doing weapons here. What we got? Shaman? Is this a focus? Let's just throw in. Let's see if there's a. Exotics have gotten really cheap, so doing this way isn't as expensive, but man, is it a gamble. Rampager's Dagger? You know what? What I want, right here. Rampage, no. Only one? Okay, we'll buy it. We'll buy it. Quick buy that one. 80. What we got? Mix and match then. 76. So, yeah, some of these are just really low priced for some reason. Take advantage. Hammer. Hammer. Can I buy another hammer?
You can never have too much treasure.
Alright, so what you can do And so 4 weapons of the same type give you a higher chance of getting the same type of weapon back. 4 random weapons will just give you the plethora of whatever's out there. But just because you're throwing in 4 exotic swords does not mean you'll get sparked out of the forge. In fact, you can get a different precursor. I know of people who were trying to roll for whatever and ended up with the dusk, and they could sell the dusk and buy the other precursor and then some other things. I don't know why you wouldn't go and just make Twilight and sell that, but whatever. That's what I said to him, and he was like, oh man, aren't you smart? But anyways, you throw them in, you forge them, you'll get something else back. Depending on what levels you're throwing in, usually you get something of this average level or better back. Usually. Sometimes you do get something. It doesn't just go high, it does go low. So you may get something of a lower level and stuff. I got a Rampager's Iron Sword of Earth. You can also get skins, like the scythe skin and stuff like that out. Hey, look. Hey, look, Ma. It's worth some money. I wonder why. I believe it's the Sigil of Earth. And this is how you should do this. Superior... Hold on. Superior... Sigil of Earth. You can also throw in rares, but it's a less chance to get it back. Rares are cheaper in the long run, but they may cost you more in the long run, depending on your luck. So, spaghetti code happens. It's not actually spaghetti code. I guess it's always been that way. It's just we didn't have enough weapons at the time from the loot table to affect it as well. So back in the day, you used to throw in 4. It was confirmed that you'd get it back almost. But I guess back then it was only a 95% rate, which surprises me because that 5% chance just never seemed to get me like in Silver Doubloons. Which is really weird, but... Is it not the Earth? Is it the setup of the weapon? It doesn't matter. We got a better weapon here. No. Hold on. It'll save over to sell, but it won't... Oh, no. I see what I did. Never mind. Look, I'm not a noob. The world is a noob, okay? Off me. Hold on. I got a beard hair in here. But precursors are expensive, is what I'm trying to tell you. And if you're going to do it one way or another, if we're not undercutting here at the Salku factory, I don't know what we're doing. I'm going to sell that, try to get some money back. What's going to end up happening. But you can forge it. You can craft it. You can find it as a drop. You know, if you're lucky enough. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to have to buy it. But it doesn't mean all the precursors are expensive. Let's get back in here. So level 80 precursors are only at level 80 and they're only exotic until Gen 2 and stuff, and then they become ascended, which makes sense. Really think about it. But if even by doing this and going to the bottom, no, there's too many. I'd have to separate it out by weapon type. But doing this and going to the bottom, okay. Precursors are cheap sometimes, and a lot of the cheap precursors are going to be underwater ones and then the offhand weapons more than likely. But it also comes down to the taste of what people like and things like that. I need to get back up to the 40s, right? I don't know how much certain precursors are. I need to finish that collection too. Somewhere in here, right? Thought I saw Salvation. You guys ever seen this weapon? Well, I'm gonna show you this. Look at that. So cool. A great looking weapon. Anyhow. Away from that. Where is the first precursor? Not the same skin as the same icon. So some of the weapons used to have a different icon as a precursor. They shared it with something else. And boy, you'd get excited. There's an underwater one at 73. So these have climbed up in price. Some of them are down to 40. The torch skin is 75. So some of these not too bad. Chaos gun 77. The Energizer 78. I've sold one of those for 150 or had them in my possession at 150. Howl 85. So again, Twilight 600 or Dusk 600. The other precursors much cheaper, but they tend to be offhand weapons. One-handed weapons tend to be cheaper. The Colossus is a two-handed hammer though, and that's only under an 8. So the Juggernaut's selling pretty high, but the Colossus is still pretty cheap. Something to look into. See where the expenses lie. Where's the next one? The Hunter 200. So we're starting to get up there. But either way, if you leave the precursor for last and decide to start crafting it, that's your choice. But if you want to grind out the gold, you just have to save gold. You have to get really tight on your wallet and decide what's more important for you. But that is the last component of legendaries we're going to talk about today. Precursors. Get lucky and find one. That some people who find a precursor decide that's the legendary I'm going to make. That kind of thing. Others do research and decide I'm just going to sell the precursor for gold and things like that. But again, the only way to use up those gifts of exploration that I've been getting is to make a legendary. And the legendaries I do suggest you make. So we looked at this list at the beginning of the game. When we looked at this list, you know, we're talking 1,000 plus gold here. At least, what, 16 something? We'll see here in a second. I don't know why I'm talking. Let's just get the list up. So the lowest price is $18.50. Crafting these usually do not cost that much. But remember, you're going to lose money when you put up a sell order. Okay? So putting a buy order, you'll always get your money back. A sell order, though, is where it's going to cost you 10% right off the top, no matter what. Then there's 5% loss somewhere. I don't remember. Before you get your money, I think, is where they take the other 5%. They take 5% from somebody else. Sometimes it's a 20% total. I can't remember how much money everybody loses, but... So the idea here is to craft it as cheaply as possible through the things I was talking about, and then put it up in a price. Moot being $18.50, I think that's pretty fair. But what's really nice, if I slash wiki the moot, my last suggestion for you. You're using Guild Wars 2 efficiency, it would also spell this out for you. But if you go to the moot and you see what you have to throw in the Mystic Forge, it says acquisition, click show base ingredients. It'll give you a number there. Now that number does not include the stuff that's going to cost you that's account bound, okay? But it will show you the number in average. It could cost you a little bit more because of Mystic Coins and rolling and that kind of stuff and Mystic Clovers. But on average, it'll show you how much it should cost you. And the moot to craft right now, liquid gold-wise, would set you back 1,110 gold, 41 silver, 54 copper. Now, that's if you were to buy the stuff off the trading post, okay, directly. But by using the things I taught you here today, it should cost you less in the long run. But you'll still have to go get the gift of exploration, the gift of battle, all that kind of stuff. And this price also includes crafting that precursor. Okay? So crafting the precursor. If you had to buy everything off the trading post, it would cost you 1,110 gold for the moot as of right now, today. That'll change because of the market. But then you can turn around and sell it for $18.50. You'll make about, what, 400 gold? Easy? There's 400 gold. Thank you for the money. 400 gold, okay? That's 400 gold you didn't have before you went mapping. Then, of course, like if you just want to see what that is per hour. So say it took me 20 hours or whatever for that 400 gold, right? So that gift of exploration, just one of them, because you get two, remember that. That one alone with the 400 gold, right, is 20 gold per hour. We're not including blackline keys, anything else we found, just the gift of exploration. We got two of them. So if I can sell two of those for 400 gold profit, that's 40 gold an hour. There is no farm better. But there are other legendaries that will probably earn you more, and I'm just grabbing a number out of the air. I don't know what 1850 minus 15% is. But I have a calculator. So 277.5. 277.5, remember that number? Gonna do this. 461.5. So 461 gold and 50 silver. 461 gold and 50 silver is what you would earn if you were to go based off what the wiki says and the percentage taken from you. If there's another 5% in there, 400 gold. So my mental math estimate there wasn't too bad. So maybe you're earning a little more than 20, 40 gold per hour. But that, again, we've come full circle here from blacklining keys to mapping and farming and things like that. And we're just talking the moot. I don't know what else costs money here. Again, Eternity, I don't understand why people are selling this so cheaply. I think it would be better to sell Twilight and the Sunrise. I would sell Sunrise and Twilight separately, in all honesty, and earn more gold, more than likely. But of course, I don't know the market as well. I don't sell a lot of legendaries, if I've ever sold one. So I usually just give them away. That's right. I usually just give them away. It's an expensive endeavor. I just gave away a Twilight to guildies, to a guildie, for a contest that I ran. So, but there it is. Does anyone know some reputable people that buy gifts of exploration? Some gamer. Again, I've talked about that. I do not know. Binary, hello. But, again, if you do that, there's high risk, you know, with that kind of stuff. Be careful out there. But I myself, that's not true. I myself do know people I could probably sell it to, depending on what they're doing. But the thing is, they do the same stuff I do, so they may not offer as much. They may offer me 400 gold for the gift of exploration. 500 gold, I think, is the going price. That's where a lot of people get that 50 gold per hour. But sometimes it's not always. You have the other material and things, and you wanna do that stuff, you're on your own. I don't know if ArenaNet would ever help you if you got scammed or anything like that. Again, I'm just talking about what it would take for me to make it. I've done it several times live on Twitch. I may do one here when I decide which legendary. I might make Bolt. I've been thinking about making Bolt for a long time. I might just make Bolt. Since I already have the gift of lightning, and that's going to save a bunch of money. The big thing is I don't have the Mystic Clovers, and I don't do a lot of World versus World or PvP anymore, so they don't add up as quickly as they once did. Although Obby Shards would be easy to come by and that kind of thing. Also, I'd need to get Ecto. But making gold and stuff in this game is as easy as diving into this and just... I mean, and then selling stuff. Like, even quick selling it, I can make money. Some of the stuff yesterday I didn't sell, like seeds. I didn't sell the peppercorn seeds. We're coming up to reset here, so people are going to be buying them. But even if I toss this up at a higher price, 22 is reasonable, but I put them here. You know, I'm going to get at least 50 silver back for that. Things like that. So when I talk about mapping and then selling this stuff, this is the stuff I usually sell. I'm going to quickly grab that. If I have like 50 or more, I usually look at the price and decide what I'm going to sell on for that. So, again, mapping, the money is there. I just have to put the work in to sell it, or I just gain the material over time and then I use it for something else. But there it is. The other thing I was talking about earlier was those extra tier 6 mats. So if you have a stack of mats in there and you already have the expanders, what I suggest is pulling out the stack, double-clicking again, and redepositing that. And this is a good way to separate out what you have over a stack there. And then I can sell this, decide what a good price on the trading post would be, which would be about right there, to be honest. So I can list that, same thing here. So doing that over time and just doing it consistently, the gold will slowly come in and things like that. But when you have even more earned for whatever reason, like in these lower mats, so this blood I have 27 of. I don't know how many 27 of these are worth, but yeah, that's pretty good. I can sell that for a little bit higher. 27 of these will give me a gold. It's just gold here, gold there, silver here, silver there, and it adds up quickly. And getting 100 gold in a day is not hard to come by anymore. But getting precursor levels of gold, so the more you do something, the less gold it will give you short term, like in a week. But you can just keep doing it weekly and getting that 100 gold, and that's a good way to keep yourself from being burnt out and things like that. So, but that's it. That's what we talked about. How to take full advantage of mapping. It's the one theme that's been going on the last 5 shows here. And we're going to change course. Now I think I'm going to make a legendary. And just go through that process with you guys a couple hours every Monday at least. And then next week will be Monday and Tuesday. We're back to Twitch tomorrow. But Monday and Tuesday next week. And then we may have a Sunday stroll at some point. I'm trying to think. Monday, Tuesday next week. And is it Monday, Tuesday the week after? God. What's your schedule, son? That's why I need to post the schedule. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday the week after next. Next week, we're going to be heavily into Twitch doing a lot of gaming, Final Fantasy 12. So Monday, Tuesday next week, we'll be in DRMs next Tuesday for sure. So next Monday, we'll be doing the Legendary Journey a little bit here. Then probably some more DRM stuff, 25th, 26th, 28th. We'll be talking about 28th. I'll be talking more about that week, more about burnout, veterans, and stuff like that, especially on the 28th. Beside, was this YouTube thing fun and that kind of stuff? We'll talk about that. And it has been fun. It has been fun. But we are done. That's it for today's show. I hope you guys learned something. If you needed something, if you have a question, I may have skipped over, I may have gotten distracted or whatever it is. Whatever it is, if you have a comment or a question or anything, just put it down below. Also, if you could be so nice as to hit the like button, you were here today or just coming in and watching at some point, I would appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe. We're going to keep doing this for a while. If you don't like the format, that's fine. The format will be changing. This is just a month of testing and getting some numbers from YouTube. Not so much numbers from you guys or anything like that, even though I was actually surprised about the numbers we've gotten. They're really nice. I appreciate all the support that way. And then if you know anybody who needs the game, support links below. But more importantly, I'd wait for a 50% off deal. And then next Tuesday, January 19th, the new DRMs hit. We will be playing that here. Couple hours. I will log in the night before to make sure my dailies are done, so we'll only be talking about DRMs and what I feel about it. Is there anything else? Now, I think I've said everything I need to say. I think we've come to the end of everything that needs to be said today. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go find some food. I hope you all are having a fantastic 2021. In all honesty, this is the year of gaming. Try to get as much gaming in. I know the world's distracting right now, especially here in the United States. We're getting distracted by things. I was distracted before I started today. I thought I was gonna be late. I think I was a little bit late, maybe a minute, but again, 4 p.m. Central Standard Times when we start here. Tomorrow we'll be on Twitch. We'll be doing Stardew Valley. Getting back to the 1.5 stuff, trying to get through spring. We started over again. So if you saw me start over with 1.5, we started over again. We're having a better time. We're going to make a lot more money, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that. Links down below if you're looking for where I am. Join the Discord. I have some plans for that. In February, we're going to have a giveaway, I think. And then I need to get the rest of this month's schedule up on the Discord as well and announcements. I will do that, I promise. I just keep getting distracted by gaming. In fact, I've already improved my Steam stats and stuff like that. So Get out there, get those games played. We have a big lineup this year, at least on Twitch, and some of that may spill over here. So, no, Midian, thank you. Thank my mods. Any mods who've come in my chat today, Dee, Midian, sure, and any other mods who lurk and things like that. And all of you that come into my chat and talk to me and things like that, I appreciate you. But we got to go. Enough thanking. As always, I leave you with this. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. For all we got. Have a great night, day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is, make it great. If you're going to bed, sleep well, get that rest. You will need it. Trust me. If I don't see you for the rest of the week, enjoy the rest of your week. If I don't see you for the rest of January, make it an awesome January, you know? Be kind to people. Be safe out there. Be healthy. Whatever you got to do. Again, I'll be on Twitch tomorrow. See you then. I'm off to eat. Lucky's staring at me. Oh, we haven't had Lucky here on the Salky Factory here on YouTube, so that'll happen soon. We'll see. He's usually sleeping when I start. But bye. See ya.